what's up? Just Crunch. I ain't made a video in like 2 days, 2 or 3 days. Um, my day was okay. How was yours? That's great. But Monday was alright. And nothing special happened, you know. But something funny did happen. Like there's a skinny girl at my table, and this Arabic boy. He claimed he's not Arabic, but I know he is. But he was like, what kind of he said, how much do you weigh? And I said, don't you think it's kind of rude asking her how much she weighs? He said he said, it's not rude if I just wanted to know. I said, so now I said, everybody at the table, y'all want I said, I asked everybody at the table, I said, no, I asked him, but I told him, I said, I'm about to ask Amit, because his name is Amit. I said, I'm going to ask him some rude or offensive questions. So, I said, Amit, have you ever had a relationship with a guy or a girl? He said no comment. Now, I would think if you said no comment when somebody asks you, have you been in a relationship with a guy, you would say no, unless you're gay. But at the same time, you would say no because you're not gay, right? I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Anyway, so he says no comment. Faggy self. He says no comment. And then he says, and then I ask him again, I say, alright, do you like men or women? He says no comment. Again, gay. Full blown gay. So then I asked him specifically to get the true answer. Have you ever been in a relationship with a girl? He says no. I said, oh, he said yes. So I said, okay. Have you been in a relationship with a guy? He says yes. So now I'm thinking, okay, I just found out this boy is gay. It's gay. But then when everybody at the table started laughing, he says, no, I mean with my brother or friends, like, friends relationship. I said, okay. You know, but I think he got my point. I was just trying to make him understand, like, you can't be asking people questions like that because it offends them. But I mean, he's offended now. Then he asked me, are you gay because you're asking me these questions? I say, no. I said, usually the people who are straight ask the gay people the questions. So he's good. Um, oh, yeah, if you see this, I can't see it on the camera. Yeah, it's like a little scar. And, it's from, alright, if y'all want to hear a story now, you know. But let me just tell you a little story. Long, long time ago, on Crunches or Roberts Street, he was bored. Him and his friend was bored, and we had nothing to do. I was only about 8, 7 or 8, so we had nothing to do. We were like, you know what? We're bored, and I've never played the game before. I mean, it's not like I'm just going around playing this game every day, So I was like, you know what? We've never played Leapfrog. So the boy was like, all right, we'll play Leapfrog, and I said, okay, we'll play Leapfrog. And then we never played it before. My dumb self requested we play this in the driveway. So we get in the driveway. I jump over him, and once he jumps over me, you know how you gotta push your hands on their back to jump over? He pushes my head down instead of my back, and my head scrapes across the ground, and it goes like, and the meat is hanging from right here all the way to right here, almost covering my eye. So I'm on the. I get up and I didn't. I just thought I hit my head. I didn't think I was bleeding or anything. So I got up and I looked at him. He said, "Ow." I said, "Ow, that hurt," you know. And the boy looked at me for 2 seconds and was like, "Oh my God, crunch." I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. And I'm like, "What do you mean you didn't mean to? What are you talking about?" He said, "I didn't mean to." And he starts freaking out. And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I said, "What? Is there something wrong?" Oh, oh, yeah, I'm gonna be right back, okay? So I start walking towards my house, and as soon as I get into the house, my father has already took like 20 steps down the stairs. Like he didn't already just jump like a whole flight of stairs. And I'm like, how did you know this just happened? And you know, why did you jump 20 steps? And now I'm starting to feel lightheaded because I'm losing so much blood. And I'm almost collapsing on the steps and all that. You know, looks like one of the movies where like, oh my god, oh my god, and I'm about to fall out. You know, bleeding to death basically. So my father picks me up and holds me like this, and my mother, she's upstairs. She's like, Robert, what's wrong? What is the commotion? Because his name was Robert too. That's where I got my name, Robert. Like, Robert, what's wrong down there? He says, he okay? He said, don't worry about it, vet. Just stay up there. Don't look. Because, you know, my mother, she might freak out. Like, oh, my baby, why is he here? Oh, you know, so, you know. So, he said, Yvette, well, her name is Yvette. Well, that's her name. I call her mom because that's my mom. You know, she had me, so I'm not going to call her Yvette. But, he said, Yvette, throw some towels down. So he threw, you know, she threw a towel down and I holding it on my head. And he saw that I was like getting weak. So he hurried up and picked me up and like held me like this. And not like that because I wasn't that small, but he held me. And everybody, like, even back then, like, I had almost 100 friends in my neighborhood. And everybody used to hang out at my house, you know, so and when I come outside, everybody's staring at me and all this because I'm sitting there bleeding to death with my meat hanging off my head, you know. So, you know, and so I get in the car. Well, not I get in the car. He picks me up, opens the door, and puts me in the car. So now I'm laid on the seat because we had like a truck. So he laid me on the seat while we were driving. And see, when you have a big cut or like a big gash, you can't really talk. I mean, you can't really fall asleep because if you fall asleep, you can die. And I wasn't looking forward to dying that day. So I was like, you know what? I need to start talking. So my father said, say your ABCs. I'm like, what? And at the time, I didn't know that, you know, I needed to stay up because I could die. So I was like, why do I need to say my ABCs? He said, just say them, just say them. I said, why? So I just started saying my ABCs and I started days off. He had to shake me every now and then on the way to the hospital. So when I get out the car, I'm kind of wide awake now. And I get out the car holding the towel on my head. And I'm like, Dad, I want to see it. I want to see it. You know, because as a little child, you want to see these type of things. You know, not saying I wanted to see it, but like, at the same time, it didn't really hurt. So, you know, I didn't get to see it, of course. But I take the towel, hold it against my head, and we walk into the emergency room. Once we get into the emergency room, my father says, okay, sit here, and I'm gonna go get the nurse or whatever. So the nurse, I'm sitting there, and it's like 50 people in the hospital the day that I get my head busted wide open to the white meat, get my head busted to the white meat, and 50 people want to be hurt. I mean, what is like? Why you gotta be hurt today? Why you gotta be staring at me? You know. So now there's like 50 people staring at me because my head is swollen and all this blood and the meat hanging and yeah, and so now you know the nurse, she saw it and she didn't freak out or nothing because I guess she used to it. She was like, okay, well, I'll get a doctor soon. Just steady writing. Like, I mean, you don't see my head's busted wide open. You know what I mean? Like, you don't notice that. So now, you know, uh, the doctor comes and being that was scared to get stitches, he told me, he said, okay, Crunch or whatever, Robert, you know, he said, it's okay. He said, we don't use stitches anymore. We have something else different. So I was like, okay. I said, what is it then? He said, it's this liquid that we put over it and it closes up your cut. Do you really believe that? Do you really think there's liquid that I put on a cut and it closes up? I'm not saying it isn't, because I've heard of stuff like that, but like, he's lying to me. So what he does is he puts me on the operating table, and wets a towel and puts it over my eyes. Now it's over my eyes and I'm just laying there. And I hear all this chatter in the background, the doctor laughing, and my father saying jokes and all this to the doctor. I'm like, this is not a laughing matter, Dad. You will see my head busted wide open. He's sitting there telling jokes. So now they tell all these jokes and talk and blah blah blah, and then you know I feel him picking at my head and like all this and doing like this, and I'm like, what are you doing? So by the time it was done, I was like, did I get stitches? He said, no, you did. He said, yeah, you got stitches. I said, what? I thought you said, blah, blah, blah. So when I went to the bathroom, I had like all these metal stitches going across. I had 16, 14 or 16 stitches. And that's how that was. The scar is either going to be there for the rest of my life, or if I actually choose to put cocoa butter on it every day for like the next 5 years, it might go away, but I'm not doing that because it's a waste of time. But if I want it to go away, that's what I have to do. But I don't see that happening. But anyway, that's how that happened. Yeah. And what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I think that's it. Oh, today you know what? Take a guess. Take a guess on what I had for lunch today. Chicken patty. Again, that's what I gotta get every day of my life. Because chicken patty is just, all that. Because chicken patties is like, boom, bow, bing, ping, ding, coom. You know, so that's the way that was. I put honey mustard on it too. Yeah. And I missed my bus yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before yesterday. Because, you know, I had to wear a big coat because my mother said it's cold, and I was like, okay, all right, all right. So I never used my locker before, and I did not know the combination that well. So I'm sitting there fiddling with the locker, going like, 42, 97, 28, and blah blah blah. I'm trying to figure it out and blah blah blah. Now you probably all know my combination, and I just gave it out. But yeah, let me finish. Um. Anyway, twisting and turning the locker. Next thing I know, I was like, you know what? The bus is here. Like, I need to leave now. So, I'll open up the locker and hurry up and start running down the hallway. I get outside, my bus just riding off. Like, God, my bus. So, I start walking home, and now I'll look in my pocket and, like, I'll just call my father halfway there and say I'm walking. So I'll take my pocket out while I'm halfway there, and my phone is dead. So now I walk back to the school, and I use the office phone. The office let me use the phone, but my father don't want to answer his phone. So, you know, yeah. But I walked home. Took me about an hour. Stopped at Dunkin' Donuts. Got me 2 donuts and an iced coffee. You know how that go. And luckily, the day that I missed my bus, I had money in my pocket. So, but when I got home, that's what that was. Plus, that whole time the doctor thought I tore a ligament in my knee, but I didn't.